Hey there, in this episode, I'm going to teach you how to create passive income with little money. All right, in this episode, I'm going to share with you the exact method that I use to go from broke joke to investor in a few short years. All right, so if you've landed on this channel for the very first time, you're going to see the most innovative ways to build your passive income. You might hear some things repeated in other videos. The reason why is because these are foundational. You must hear this. These techniques and tips and methods and instruction will change your life and give you on the trajectory to create passive income that will change your life, your family's life, and eventually serve others. In today's episode, first I'm going to share you how my eyes were open to this by just hearing one podcast. The second thing is how the first deal that I did doing this got me out of debt. And lastly, the deal that brought me into passive income that's still paying me today and has brought me to share this with so many students that make tens of thousands of dollars a month in passive income every single month. All right, so what the heck am I even talking about? What podcast did this guy hear that's changed his life? All right, so I was driving down the road searching for answers. I was an Army officer. I was spending so much time at work. I just had my first baby. We were newly married, just bought a house. So I had no money and I needed to figure out a way to be home more often, to spend it with my family. I was always gone, always training, always deployed, always never home. So I needed to figure out a way to make passive income. So I was exactly where you are now, searching how to make passive income with no money. Back in 2015, I stumbled across a podcast where a gentleman was buying land at tax auctions for next to nothing, and turning around and selling it for thousands of dollars in profit. Well, I knew one thing. I knew that there's something called a tax delinquent list. This is a list of property owners that are not paying their taxes for their land. So what did I do? I got that list from the county treasurer, and this list had basically schedule numbers, and I had no clue how to read this, so I had to do a little research, and I figured out these schedule numbers, which were also APNs, assessor's parcel numbers, which basically was just a number for this land that people were not paying their taxes on. So I was able to pull the actual owner's name and their mailing address. So I sent out an actual simple postcard saying, hey, I'd like to buy your land. Call me if you're interested. I sent out 687 postcards. 687 postcards, and these postcards ran me about 39 cents a piece. Out of the 687 postcards, my phone rang 85 times. Well, remember I said I was an Army officer. I was working like crazy. I was on base by 6 a.m. usually, leaving by 7 p.m. That was a 13-hour workday, and I still wanted to see my newborn son and spend time with my wife. So I only had time to make these phone calls, only about 20 of them. I returned 20 phone calls, and I ended up doing 2 deals out of those 20 phone calls. 2 deals that changed my life forever and brought me here to you today to share this video. So that first deal, let me talk about it. It was a piece of land that this seller said, I will sell it to you for $285. And yes, you heard me right, $285. It was 2 lots overlooking a mountain range in Colorado. So I had no idea what I was buying. I called my wife. I was like, let's go look at this land on Saturday. So we drive out and look at it. It's like an hour and a half away from my house. We're looking at it. It's beautiful, but we found out one thing. It wasn't buildable. It was not buildable. And there's a reason why, because there was only one ingress and egress. So one road in, one road out. And the fire department would not allow anybody to build because the fire department could get pinned in and be burnt alive. So this was non-buildable land, and eventually they're going to build a second road, but it's all speculation. But I had no clue what the stuff was worth. I had a seller willing to give me a massive discount. He was multiple years behind on taxes. He hadn't paid his taxes in a while. I wanted to spend the $285, but I didn't really have it. I didn't have any money, so I was afraid. So what did I do? I called the local real estate office that was a mile down the road. So we're driving home, and I'm I don't know what it's worth. And it's as if God planted a real estate office for me to call. So I call this real estate office, and this sweet lady answers the phone on a Saturday. And I said, hey, I've got a piece of land. It's on Lake Avenue. It's actually 2 parcels. And she was very familiar with it. I said, what's the 30-day blowout price? What's the get it done now price? Because I can get this land for cheap, but I'm afraid to buy it because I don't have any money and I want to be able to sell it quick. So what's the fast sales price for it? She goes, well, I don't know about 30-day blowout, but maybe 45-day, you could probably sell it for about $10,000 if I were to list it for you. And I was like, great, $10,000. I'll trade $285 for $10,000 all day long. So I hang the phone up with her. I'm telling my wife, my phone rings again. Same realtor. She goes, hey, Brent, I'd be interested in buying this land from you if you'd sell it to me. And I was like, of course, what are you offering? She said, I'll offer you $5,000. I said, great, when do you want to close? Like, I was so ecstatic. She said, I can close on Wednesday. Mind you, it's Saturday. I was like, Wednesday, like 4 days from now, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? She goes, yes. I was like, great, we have a deal. Send over the contract. So she sent me a contract for $5,000. I call my seller and I said, good news, I'll take the land. Can we meet on Tuesday? I'll write you a check for $285. I need you to bring the deed to me because I need to take ownership of this land. I called the title company, got it all set up. So Tuesday, I meet this guy. I write a check, praying that I get paid the next day so I can get this money back because I got to buy diapers and baby food and rent. I was broke in 2015. So thank God it all worked out. Wednesday, I got the $5,000 check and I paid off my credit card. My mind was blown. All right, so I mentioned I did a second deal. That second deal that changed my life, brought me to passive income. But before I get to it, these deals are just the tip of the iceberg. I'm giving you so much content on here. I come out with these 5 days a week. I can make you a pile of money just by coming back and watching more of these videos. So you must hit that subscribe button, hit it now and like this video. This channel will specifically teach you about earning passive income with no money, with little money, and it's all about buying land at massive discounts and turning around and creating passive income. No one is doing this. There's virtually no competition, and this channel is here for you. All right, so back to the second land deal. The second deal that I did out of those 20 calls, the 687 postcards that I, pulled the trigger and sent out, that podcast was meant for me to hear. I took action. So, if you're hearing anything about this, it's always falling forward. What are we doing when we walk? We literally are falling forward and the next foot is catching us. So I didn't know the answers. I didn't know what the land was worth, but the realtor was there. The buyer was there. The next one was a sweet old lady up in Denver, Colorado. She was willing to sell me this land that was literally like 45 minutes away from my home, but I drove by this land every single day to get to work and I never realized it was there. So she offered to sell me this land at $500. There was a catch to it. There was no access. You were actually going across state land to get to this land, and her husband had bought it like 25 years ago for like super cheap. And they'd been paying the taxes and now they were behind on taxes and she was just gonna let it go. So I met this woman on her front porch. Her porch was like bigger than my entire house. And she goes, I don't know what you want with this godforsaken land, but I'll sell it to you for $500. So I tried to get her down a little bit more. I tried to get her to take a little bit less, but she wouldn't. So I wrote her the check reluctantly and I posted it on Craigslist that night. I had a buyer the next day for $500 down and $400 a month. And they were gonna pay me a total of $5,000 for this parcel of land. And I'll never forget this one. This guy brought me cash every single month like it was clockwork. He was never late. He wanted this land and he still owns it today. So that is what changed my life. That gave me passive income, $400 a month, paid our car payment. And then I rinsed and repeated. I kept doing these deals over and over and they got bigger and they got bigger. Proof of concept. I got systems to take in these monthly payments. I no longer allow like land buyers to come to my house and give me $400 a month anymore. It now goes automatically into my bank account. I have a system that pulls this money and puts it into my bank account every single month. I've done over 259 land transactions now. And this has changed my life. It allowed me to get out of the military. It allowed me to create life on my own. It allowed me to move from Colorado to Florida and not skip a beat. My team is now operating. They're doing this on their own. We just sold 5 parcels of land in the last week. And every one of these parcels, 5 parcels, if they bring us an average of $400 per deal, that's an extra $2,000 a month coming into my passive income. And it started with no money. $285, like it's embarrassing. I didn't have that money to spend, but I did it. Thank God that realtor answered the phone on Saturday or I probably wouldn't have bought that piece of land. All right, so if you're looking for passive income, you don't have any money or you might not have even time. I didn't have money. I didn't have time and I didn't really have the resources. If you're at all looking for that sort of thing, go to the description below and click on thelandsharks.com. See what this is all about. Schedule a call with me and my team. I'd love to see your goals. We'd love to see what you're trying to accomplish. If we feel like we're a good fit, I'd be honored to coach you. And as you know, the real estate market is absolutely exploding right now. This is a tried and true method to buy land at massive discounts, just like I talked to you about on those 2 deals, and turn around and sell this stuff in your sleep. I have students telling me weekly, I made $20,000 last month. I made $30,000 last month. I made $40,000 last month following this system to build passive income. All right, so go below in the description and click that link today. Schedule that call now. I can't wait to see you in the Land Sharks community.